Welcome to In the Kitchen with Dominique. On today's show, it is all about fall, guys. Believe it or not, fall is here, and I know we're all running around trying to figure out what we're gonna wear. Company dinners are happening, and you need a dish that's going to please your crowd during this fall season. Today, we are making my European-inspired shepherd's pie that has mashed yams on top, and we have like this ground beef and bacon type of goulash situation going on. I cannot wait to show you guys how easy it is to put together from start to finish. Let's get started. So far, what I have in my cast iron skillet is some rendered bacon that I browned up a little bit. I'm going to just take that out. I have about 3 slices of bacon that I just cut up really tiny. We want that bacon flavor to run throughout our shepherd's pie. And then I'm going to put my stove back on, and I have about 1.5 pounds of ground beef that I'm going to add to this. And we are going to brown this up really good, guys. You want to make sure you have a nice and fatty meat for this dish, because you want all that flavor to create a nice sauce. And sometimes when you're making a shepherd's pie and you mash up either your mashed white or gold potatoes or your mashed yams, what happens is in the oven, it could dry out. So you want ample amount of moisture throughout. So while this is going, I am going to season our ground beef with some seasoned salt. And remember, we have that bacon fat in there. That's going to yield a lot of flavor. So you don't need to go too heavy on your seasonings. So I have seasoned salt, pepper, garlic powder, and some Italian seasoning. And about 5 sprigs of thyme that we're just going to put in there, and then we're going to fish out later. So while this is doing its thing, I'm going to mince up some celery for this. This is really good. Like if you have a company party, this is good to make. What else? If you have a little gathering at your house, this is good to make. It's just the perfect like crowd pleaser to make. It's super cute and pretty once it comes out. So try it and see what happens. So this is going, browning up nicely. Make sure you use a cast iron skillet. No other pan will work for this. You need that cast iron skillet. One, because it's interchangeable from stovetop to oven. You want to make sure that those brown bits are happening. You want to make sure that the moisture is being captured in the sauce, in the filling that's happening in this. It's so beneficial to use cast iron as opposed to any other dish. Any other dish will either make it burn too fast, make it not cook right. So this is going, got the celery going. While this is going, I'm going to add 1 shallot. So sometimes shallots come together like that. If it's together like that, then you just want to break it apart, use the bigger piece. You don't need too much for this. All right. I'm being a savage. I'm cutting a shallot again. And I did not prep this beforehand, so who thinks I'm going to tear up? What's going to happen? I'm just slivering this up first and then turning it and making a quick mince. Uh-oh, no tears. I love when that happens. Yes, I believe that this is like based out of Europe, where they would put the mashed yams on top as opposed to your regular potato. And I just loved it when I tried it and remixed it. I was like, oh my God, it screams fall, it's holiday. And then the mashed yams has all like your warm, earthy spices, like your ginger, a little bit of cinnamon. You can even go big and put like your pumpkin spice seasoning in it, and it just like does like a whole nother thing. So as you see, there's a lot of fat coming out of this, but we don't want to drain that out yet. And so I do not pour my pan whenever I am draining my fat. I get like a big old fat wad of tissue and I put it in there, because I feel like when you pour it out, you are running a huge risk on losing some key ingredients to making this be the dish that you want it to be. So show you that in a second. Before you get started with this, what you want to do is you want to grab 3 to 4 medium-sized yams. You want to sliver, or you want to cube them up really nicely, and you want to put them in a shallow pan and steam them. The reason why you want to put them in a shallow pan, because when you put them in a shallow pan as opposed to a pot, it allows for a faster cook and steam. So I just added 4 cloves of garlic to this. Okay. So while I'm cooking this, me and Tracy, we were going over if I wanted to add corn or not to this. And I think I went back and forth like 6 times before doing this, if I wanted to add corn, which again, it's part of your own process, and you can decide how you want to make this your own recipe and situation. But right now I'm thinking yes, corn, just because I feel like we're going to need some yellow filling to this, because we're going to add some frozen peas to it. So that's going to give us our green. And again, I like to have my plate and dishes reflect the rainbow. Rainbow equals nutrients, flavor, and it just makes for a better looking dish on the table. All right, so that's going. That ground beef is browning up nicely. Now it's time for us to drain. I am going to go grab a bunch of napkins and ball them together and get the oil out of this. All right, so I turned my pan off for safety reasons. And again, the reason why I don't pour off the grease is because I feel like 2 reasons. You could burn yourself really easily. It happened. I have like a burn scar here that happened when I was pregnant, and I had like pregnancy brain, and I literally burned myself like crazy dealing with a cast iron. And then I decided that instead of pouring, and then I don't want any of the ingredients to pour out. So just get some napkins, tilt it like this, let all the grease go to one side. Grab this, your cooking utensil. Look how fast all that oil drains out and how easy that is. Then we're just gonna grab our spoon and kind of do like a flip situation. Or you can use your hands because the top part's not hot. We're gonna use our garbage bowl and just dump this in there. And we're done. Look, we have all the nice So I just put the stove back onto medium. Now I'm going to add my frozen veggies, my corn and my peas. Okay. And my peas, about a cup each, I think is perfect. My daughter loves peas, so anytime like there's like extra peas, she's all for it. Look at that big old blob. It's okay, it'll melt down really fast. Okay, so while that is cooking down, we are going to mash our yams up really quick. I'm just gonna get cleaned up really quick, and then we're gonna get back to it. All right, so what I'm going to do now before we mash up the yams is we're just gonna simply fish out the thyme, the sprigs from the pan. It's so easy. And while this is going on like a medium, between medium and low, I think that should be good. The corn, the peas are in there. Then we're gonna add our bacon back in there. You see, it's not that much bacon. You just really want that flavor. You don't want too much bacon situation happening. It's really for flavor. All right, so that's going, and now it's time for us to mash up our yams. What we are gonna do is grab some butter. So oftentimes you will hear me say some and not an actual measurement. I think oftentimes you just really have to eyeball to taste. You know, sometimes you're cooking for a little bit of people. Sometimes you're cooking for a lot of people. Sometimes you might like stuff more creamy. You might like it a little bit spicier than others. You have to really find out what your thing is, and that's what works for you. This is why it's really hard for me to say recipes a lot of times, because if I do a recipe and I tell someone to add this amount of this or this amount of that or whatever, it's mostly not going to taste the same if you cook it or if you tell me a recipe. You really have to eyeball stuff to taste, and you'll get that flow. So this is why I believe in sprinkling your seasonings and things like that instead of having them so measured out, you know? So see, I'm just kind of like seeing where the cinnamon goes. And if it looks like I can see it, to me, that looks like it's enough. The same with the ground ginger. You know that ground ginger is going to be, it has more of a potent taste to it. So I'm not going to want to add too much. Just a little bit to give it a kick. So I'm looking and I'm seeing sometimes it gets caught up in there from moisture. So again, not that much ginger, just a little bit. And then we're just gonna add a dash of pepper. Just a dash. And we're gonna mash this up. These were steaming for a while, so they should be really easy for me to mash up. Just gonna run our masher through this like so. And one thing I'm noticing is that the butter looks like it's not enough. So I'm just gonna go in and add a little bit more. Get your masher and run it throughout. And I have my oven preheated at 400. And once we pop this in there, just gonna put it in there for like 25 minutes. And that should be enough for it to brown on the top. So this seems like it's a little bit thick. So I'm gonna go run to my refrigerator and grab just a splash of milk. And I think this will help this do its thing. Okay. Just a splash. All right, that's perfect. The spice or the moisture from the filling is going to yield us enough moisture for the top as well. You can see I'm kind of like doing a little shake side thing to take it off and to kind of gauge if there's any chunks in there. And that looks like it's good. Okay. So this is perfectly cooked. Okay, I'm gonna turn this off. And now we are going to spoon on top. What I would say doing works best is if you just scoop dollops on top. The reason why you want to do that is because if you just pour it out, it's going to be hard to tell if you made enough or not. You're going to make sure that always start with the middle first, because we're going to spoon it out until the perimeter. Okay. All right, now it looks like it's perfect. Love it. So now we are just going to do this. And spoon from the middle out. Okay. And just kind of even it on the top. And what I want to do is I want to create some cute waves, because I want the peaks of the waves to get brown and cute. I have to wipe my nose.
Try to remember to keep your head back if you can.
Okay.
Your head is dipping over the plate too much.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, so now that's even, and what we're gonna do is start from the middle, go out, do that first. And then where it pushed out, we're just gonna do some waves. Like an orange sea. And what's gonna happen in the oven is this part right here is gonna brown, that's gonna brown, that's gonna brown. And if you want it to be a little bit deeper, then you just run your spoon like that. It's totally up to you. I like texture. I love it when things brown. And then, okay. And then if it got a little messy on the side, no worries. Just press that down. So this is ready to go in the oven at 400 for 25 to 30 minutes, or until you notice some browning happen on the top. And then we're going to finish this with some chopped chives, and then we're going to eat it. It's going to be so good. I'm going to put it in the oven. All right, guys, so it's been about 25 minutes and I just took our shepherd's pie out of the oven and we are going to sprinkle. The kids woke up from a nap now and it sounds like they're hungry, so I think that's why they're coming in the kitchen. So I'm going to sprinkle a bunch of chives on top and then I'm going to plate this really quick and we are going to eat this. It's going to be so good. Lots of chives, guys. Remember, we have the savory from the ground beef and bacon and vegetable mixture. Come on in, Aiden. Aiden wants to be part of the show, guys. So look how amazing this is. Again, this is perfect for the fall. It has all the warm spices in it. This is good for if you are having like any kind of Thanksgiving themed potluck at work and you want something that is going to just be a win for your colleagues. Make this, eat it, take it everywhere. Whatever the holiday is, just take it there. All right, so it is time to scoop this yumminess on our plate. Ooh, that's not a good spoon. Let's use this wooden one. And I love this because look, it's just kind of a good funky dish. Look at all that goulash that's inside. I mean, look at, we got that sweet from the yams on top. All right, so we have the orange from the yams. We have our yellow from the corn, the green from the celery and the peas. Got the brown from the meat and the bacon. It's just a color explosion and it screams fall. I'm ready to taste. Mommy is hungry. So just get like a little bit of the yam, the meat, get some chive on there. Perfect. I'm gonna blow it because I don't want to burn the roof of my mouth. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention. I am at the last minute of it cooking for 25 minutes. I just threw the broiler on and just put it under for about 5 minutes. That way it solidified the top part of the mashed yams just to give it some consistency. Mmm. That's good. That came out perfect. You guys make this. So I hope that you guys were inspired to make this tonight, guys. Use it for work, wherever you're going, make this and watch what happens when I see you break this thing out. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to email me at inthekitchenwithdominique@gmail.com. Don't forget to tag me when you either post what you made or whatever it is. The kids are coming in. Come on, guys. Or not. Yeah, and don't forget YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. The kitties are here. I think they're ready to eat. Bye, guys. What are you doing? Oh my God, you're so silly.